Today on the show, we're going to talk about the Xbox FPS Boost, some of the games that we want to go through with you that take advantage of this over on the Xbox Series X. Let's get into that episode with you right now. Court, let's talk about FPS Boost, those 120 frames per second. You like that?
On the Xbox Series X and S for games that, are old. Lego games are on there. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
this list,
Daddy.
It's amazing. We know a lot of people just got an Xbox Series X or S possibly for the Christmas holidays. And we even know people that have had it for a while and they just don't know which games are available. Our friends over at Windows Central wrote a great little article. It'll list all the games that are there. Matt's going to go through a little talk with you, and then we're going to talk about the games.
Let's do this. So with the power of Xbox FPS Boost, even older games, Xbox games can experience higher frame rates, even up to 120 frames per second. This means the list of Xbox Series X and S that can push all the way to 120 frames per second will grow even faster with favorite games from the last generation of consoles. Gaming on a console can be an excellent way to experience the broad world of video games, but consoles have historically lagged behind powerful gaming PCs for sheer power. Next-gen consoles like the X and S and the PS5 begin to unravel these precedents by officially ushering in hardware support for up to 120 FPS in select games. But what does this mean? Simply put, running games at a higher frame rate allows for more animation detail, reduces input lag, and generally allows for a better gaming experience. And for games that require or benefit from faster reaction times, a higher frame rate can be the difference between victory and defeat. Court, I kick it to you. What are some of the games or a game on this list from Windows Central that you're like, yeah, baby, 120?
Well, one of the very first games was Gears of War 5. When I first got the console, when I got the Xbox Series X, I'd already played Gears of War 5 on the Xbox One X. And then when I hopped in and played it on my Series X, I was blown away by the 120 frames per second. That was when I messaged a friend of mine and was like, so I can't go back. Like whenever they give you the graphics mode or the performance mode, I choose performance mode every single time because I want as many frames per second. One of my favorite games of Division 2 doesn't have 120 frames per second because a little console over there, the PS5, can't do it for that game. That's the biggest difference I find between the Xbox Series X and the PS5.
Yeah.
PS5 can play backwards compat games, but they're not giving that FPS boost on older games to get you that 120 frames per second. There are games on this list like all the Lego games, like Lego Marvel's Avengers, Lego Marvel Superheroes, Lego Hobbit, Mad Max.
That's a great game.
That are 120 frames on the Xbox Series X, but they are not on the PlayStation 5. Another one that just comes to Game Pass tomorrow would be the Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful on the PS5, but it's 1440p on both the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. But on the PS5, it is 60 frames per second, where it's 120 frames on the Xbox series of consoles. So there is a huge advantage that you get from your Xbox compared. There's a great list here on Windows Central. We'll have the article clicked and pinned to the comments section there. But you have other games like New Super Lucky's Tale. You have Plants vs. Zombies. You have Overwatch. You have Overcooked.
Psychonauts 2.
Yeah, Psychonauts 2, which, once again, 120 frames on the Xbox and not on the PlayStation. Yep. You have the Halo Master Chief Collection, which gets the glow up to the 4K's 120, which is amazing thanks to smart delivery.
Star Wars... Sorry, finish your thought. Yeah, go.
Yeah, no, it's just, you have all these games that you've played in the past that you don't realize how much different they look when you're at 120 frames. Like a game like Hollow Knight, those games are very twitchy and very click. Like, you want those frames per second to be better at that game.
The other ones, Court, for me that I've gone and re-downloaded before too are the Star Wars Battlefront games, because like Battlefront 2, I just like to be able to go back into a Star Wars universe, and where that game was when it launched, and I bought it when it launched, and it was loot boxes, and it was trash. It was very much a flop. And they completely had to correct course with that game. But on the frame rate side, it is beautiful. The lighting effects in that game are amazing. But with the FPS Boost 2, and it's backwards compatible, I absolutely love going back into Star Wars. So Battlefront 2 is in there too. And that's one that stands out to me. The other one is one that you are actually going back to right now. And it's got me itchy to go into once we finish the Division. Titanfall. Titanfall 1 and 2 are both FPS boosts too.
So yeah, I'm playing Titanfall 2 right now. I've almost finished it, and I'm right at the very end there. One of the best stories from last gen. I truly love it. It's not long. It's something you can easily go through. But playing it with 120 frames per second, it's so smooth. Like I can't go back. Like that's my biggest issue I have. I love the preserving of video games that Xbox is doing currently, and they're making me go back, and my games feel different than what I played in the very first time, thanks to 120 frames per second.
And that's the thing too, is when you have people that have gone, like you said, at like Christmas time, they went and they got an OLED, they got a brand new TV, they got their first 4K TV, and they're looking at what can I play. Xbox at least is trying to make it easier and more accessible for people to say, yeah, you got the new TV, you still have your Xbox kicking around, your Series S you have, you got that for the holidays. You can get just this huge library to really see what like your TV or your monitor can actually perform. And that's what I like too, because I always geek out about having smooth gameplay, graphics that are great, lighting and frames. And I've become much more of the frame rate guy too. As I play games like they list here, like just with Halo and Halo Infinite, being able to play that, I toggle between 120 and the graphics mode. I don't really care about the graphics mode because of the game itself doesn't really need it. It doesn't really enhance it that much, in my opinion. But when I can get 120 and just smooth as butter, whew, it's a fun day, Court. It's a fun day.
Yeah. So the list is endless. And a majority of these games are already on Game Pass. So if you get a brand new Xbox and you got Game Pass and you got a TV that can output, we understand not every TV can output, but they also do updates on where they can bring it up to 4K. Xbox is doing a very good job of taking those games from in the past and giving them a little bit of a glow up to make them better and more fun and more enjoyable to play again. Let us know what you guys are excited for in this list. Let us know what you're excited. Did you get an Xbox Series X or S for Christmas? Is this something that excites you? Let us know.
See ya.